Cut it up. No,
Cool.
I never had them at all. I've been acting like for a year that I'm not blind, and then the guys are like, "Hey, dude,
Hell
you're
yeah.
blind. You need to." So, welcome in, dude. Everybody, one of one interviews. I'm Steven. This is the man, the myth, the legend, William Ryan Wundrach. Did I get
Yeah,
it?
oh, dude, that's That's literally perfect.
Right on, dude. Thank you so much for doing this.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Been hunting you down for just a little bit. I know you're a busy man, so I'm super glad. We got a lot of stuff to get into. Right off the rip, though, I want to start with something simple question. Verse for verse. Lil Wayne versus Tupac.
Lil Wayne. It's not close.
It's not
But
close.
it's only not close because Tupac's longevity isn't there. But bar for bar, I don't think there's a person who's ever lived as good at rap as Lil Wayne. It's my honest opinion.
All right, right on.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that, and we'll let everybody else comment.
I'm gonna get chewed up for that one.
Oh, dude, they're going in without a doubt. So, oh boy. All right. Obviously, you've built a massive footprint in the hobby. When people hear your name, there's like I'm sure I know when I hear it, I think about it. A mix of respect. I don't want to say fear, but like intimidation.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, this dude's sarcastic. I don't know how to take them. Very curious about what you're doing, obviously. Do you think people have any clue who you are, or are they reacting to this surfer's version of you?
I think there is absolutely a version of me that they know. Dude, Hobby Will is very similar to real life Will, right? I'm confident in everything I do. I have a sales background. I have a lot of fun in life. I make a lot of jokes, but people also take stuff way too seriously, man. Like most of what I'm posting is me messing around, me joking. You know what I mean? And people take it as this like visceral reality or hate, or that's exactly how I feel. It's like, dude, it's a meme. So I think there's an idea of me for sure, but I don't think people know me. No.
Right on. So for the people who only know you from your viral posts, who is Will and what is the difference? Am I making any sense? Like,
Yeah. So
huge,
dude,
huge polarizing.
yeah, dude. So look, like the Will who snaps and stuff, man. Like I'll say I snap less in real life, and that's not. It's because, bro, I'm so jaded from a lot of the stuff in this hobby. Um, People forget that with everything I do in the hobby, as much as I'm active, as much as I do, right? There's a cost to that, right? Like, dude, I'm on my phone 15 hours a day, whether it's hunting scammers and scammer tracker, running the page, scammers there, dealing with this guy messed up a line, this guy messed up a line, these two people are fighting, this runner made a mistake, I made a mistake. All of that is a factor. And dude, sometimes because of past experiences, how people are and how I've dealt with stuff, is my natural reaction is sometimes someone will say something harmless, or like maybe I take it as aggression, and it's really not. That's just who they are. But because I've always been kind of dealing with someone on this level before, I treat them the same. And that's where they miss that, Ultimately, man, like I'm in this hobby because I love it. It helps provide, but I also am in this because, like, dude, I want to make Cardtastic the best. I want to be one of the best in it. I want to be a big name. But yeah, that's how, I also want to find avenues to let other people make money in this, enjoy this, and love it.
I was going to ask though, with that, because the hobby that when we're talking about Facebook, typically, it's different than talking to people face to face. A lot of it is through text, right? And how much context is lost through. Do you think that has a lot to do with it?
Oh, dude, 100%. A lot of times I'm joking around, or like there's no easy way to explain something for the 1 millionth time to someone. And so I go on autopilot. And so sometimes what I do forget is I treat people who are probably in their first month in the hobby the same way I treat someone who's 5 years in. And that's something I'm trying to get better at. It's secondhand nature to me. It's no longer something I'm still picking up. Like, I know this, I live this. And so like sometimes I don't handle things the way they should. Absolutely. And I think you can say that of all of us, you know, even when it's a new guy lining, you know, because I take such care when I'm lining or when I'm running stuff, right? It's like it's my money. So I treat their money how I treat my own. And when someone I feel doesn't do that back, it rubs me the wrong way. And I kind of forget that not everyone does this as much. And it's also not that deep.
For sure. I mean, I remember seeing a post, I don't know, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. I can't remember, but um, I don't know if it was from you or you just asked the question, but it was in Tastic for sure. And it was like, do you guys even know how to claim? Like 10 as, what's the next step? Are you
Oh,
putting
yeah.
your,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Your emojis
Yeah.
next, or are you doing it the next line?
10
When you
as
say
and you
K,
skip so they can copy paste, right? Like that is just second nature. That's the easiest way to do it for anyone lining so they can just copy paste the emojis, not delete your as, not 10 as and delete the 10 as. And it irks my soul, but it's not my fault. It's not their fault. They don't know that. It's a preference thing. It's just the most efficient way to do it.
for sure. I'm new to banking, boy, but I'm getting it though because man, whew, some of these cats, and man, if I get one more for XYZ flash in my Venmo,
Oh, dude. And
lose
it's
it.
crazy because it's in the header. They don't read it. And it's like, bro, like, how do you not know? But you also forget, like, dude, sometimes that's like their first or second time in. And so we have to be sympathetic while also being firm, like, hey, man, like, it's common sense. But, like, it's not actually common sense for everybody,
Sure, you
unfortunately.
don't know.
Yeah.
How did you even get into the hobby in the first place?
Dude, so this was while I was still working at Toyota. I was just bored. It was right in the heart of we were slow because of COVID. So COVID had just started. We had just started getting the inklings. It was December or somewhere around there. Like we had just started. This is before anything shut down. And I'm scrolling Facebook Marketplace, and there's a picture of FaZe Rugs, and there's a picture of a bunch of wax. I don't know if you know who FaZe Rug is. He's a YouTuber.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, a pretty big YouTuber, whatever. And so, like, I didn't think it was actually attached to him. There was a price on it. I was like, dude, I haven't ripped wax since I was a kid. And so I buy it. He shows up. He shows up in his G Wagon. He's a big YouTuber, right? And I was like, oh, shit. It was part of a trade up challenge for a Tesla. So I bought the wax. And it was cool. It was a super weird, awkward interaction because I had no clue he was actually coming. He's local to the area, too. So I get the wax. I go home. I rip it. It was all garbage. I don't really know what I was looking for. And then I look and I was like, oh, I got fucking smoked. I paid double retail to rip garbage, blah, blah, blah. And then I started looking into groups, Facebook groups, like, oh, let me see what I could sell some of this or buy stuff, right? And I came across, because I was looking for reasonably priced stuff, I came across reasonable sports cards, which is where I started my hobby journey. Joined that group, probably 15,000 people in it. And I slowly start kind of growing my name in there, building the RAS size. I'm in every break. And then I made it known to them pretty early. Hey, dude, I'd love to be a part of this team. I'd love to eventually break and do this, that, the third. And that's kind of what happened is I became a mod, and then Rich brought me on for late night breaks. So I was doing all the ripping ships and then ripping after them. And it was a great opportunity. I built my name, and I think Reasonable is like probably one of the most family friendly places in the hobby. It's a huge group now. There's 100,000 people in it, but like that's a place you go to learn the hobby in a lot of ways. And you can still see the highest of heights in there. But like, I think it's a lot like the degenerate stuff didn't really come in. Like I brought Razes and stuff big when I joined Cardtastic as a member. And I was like, yo, like we don't know what we're doing. These people know what they're doing for Razes. And like Reasonable's not a Raz centered group. It's a group. It's for buy, sell, trade, Raz, auctions, all that. And slowly but surely I kind of waded my way into Cardtastic, realizing that's more of a fit. And they needed someone. And then as that my name kind of grew there and there, Alan from Scammer Tracker, drunk on Christmas Eve, was like, dude, I'd love to have you on the Scammer Tracker team because you already help us as it is, and I need help. And that's how that happened. Yeah.
That the scammer tracker page is a legit blessing for sure. Sure we'll get into some stuff with that. But do you remember when you joined Cardtastic, how many members there were by
So
chance?
when I first joined, there was like 13,000 people. And then by the time I was an admin on like my first week, there was 17,000. And now we're at 25.
So, you know, your posts, just your regular Facebook page, be it Will's or Wilma's,
Yeah.
they tend to go viral to a degree. I mean, always
Not
more
viral,
than the
but
regular
viral
dude.
amongst our friends. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. Always more than the regular dude, but like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't, that's a perfect example. Always, pretty funny or sarcastic.
Elicit a ton of responses.
Yeah. Are you intentionally like doing that? Do you intentionally poke at the hobby? Just saying
I
what
mean,
comes to mind,
absolutely.
just like,
I absolutely poke at the hobby because there's a lot of stuff in it that I just think like, dude, I love the hobby. I also think there's some like just some life skills people lack that are in this hobby, and it's just like the deodorant thing's like not a joke. Like nobody at card shows wears deodorant. It's crazy. Um, People, just a certain like just human decency is lacking sometimes in what we do. But like some of my other posts, like the political stuff, like, dude, I'm super liberal. It is what it is, right? And I also know that like my hobby following is so massively Republican because the hobby I feel like is mainly that. And so like, do I poke fun because the first thing that is said on the post is that I'm a libtard piece of shit? Yeah, absolutely. I love it because I sit there and I'll just watch. But I mean, do I believe a lot of what I post? Absolutely. Am I trolling a lot? Yes, I have fun, and I've gotten away from the disrespect. Like I'm no longer engaging with the blatant disrespect on posts. We can all joke around, you know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
um, but yeah, I mean, I poke fun at the hobby. I also, dude, I'm a competitive person, right? My background, like when I was, I started as a general manager at Pizza Hut when I was like 19, and I was that for 5 years, and then I got into car sales and the same way I am in the hobby, I was at car sales. I was dedicated to it. I was our number one guy. I'm competitive. I'm competing with you, even if you don't know we're competing. I mean, that's just a fact of how I operate, right? Like, it's a competition. You might not be in competition, but I am, right? Like, I'm here to be not better than someone, but I want to be I want to be the best at something, right? And so, like, that's just what it is. It's not because I want to put anyone down and say, like, you're not good, this, that. I just strive to be the best in anything I'm doing.
I dig it. I can see that because some of the cards you're running, like, I wish maybe one day. That's just not where I'm at with it. Some of the cards I've seen you run, I mean, shit, some of the repacks, some of the most expensive ones I've ever seen, at least around Facebook.
Yeah, yeah. Whatnot's
Obviously,
its own beat. Like, dude, Whatnot's insane money. Like, make me look
right?
like a blip, right?
Yeah, I ran on Whatnot for a little over a year doing repacks and stuff. It's a different beast,
Oh,
but
dude,
like
it's a
as
whole
far
different beast.
it's insane. But
Yeah.
how how did you end up? Did you start at the high end, or what? How did you
No, dude,
get?
I started getting in retail breaks. Like, dude, I mean, I was a retail ripper for a long time. Like, I started my hobby journey in ripping 21 retail, jumping in Rich, Mike, and Zach's, or Rich, Mike, and Nate were the only three at the time. Mosaic hanger breaks. With like six dudes. So this is how my hobby journey started is like you make friends over time. So Matt Lindsay was one of my like original best friends in this hobby, still one of my good friends. He messages me out of the blue. We're not friends at this point. We're just like, we see each other breaks. He's like, I think you have the same problem I do. And we jumping in everyone's breaks and he invited me to another break group. And so we're in breaks together. And then like Jake Young, who was one of my best friends in the hobby, also he's still with RSC as a mod. We started a Raz pack, a group chat because we were the only ones in RSC really razzing. There was 15 of us. And so we made a group chat. It became like great friends. We would make sure we weren't posting over each other. We'd help each other out. We would trade amongst each other for stuff and breaks, and like that's where it started to develop. So like I started there, small time, dude. And if I hit a $1,500 card, that was huge.
Sure.
And then as I'm breaking more, I joined Cardtastic, and I'm starting to join lines for bigger cards. And like Joel Pad, I don't know how to say his last name. Joel Pad Thai is how I call him. I won my first like big cards from him and Dan Boxa. I was cold as fuck. I had never won a Raz in Cardtastic, and I could never fill a line. I win a silver Mahomes from him, and I win a Brady from Box, and it was like I was King Kong. And that was where that thirst for that started. And then I just kind of kept growing with that, and the cards got bigger as my name got bigger, as I just naturally grew in the hobby. And then when like Cartastic started to develop and we added bottoms, that was when things really started to change. Like when I was my first 6 months in Tastic, there wasn't bottoms really. It was flashes, megas, and like straight up OGs. Like we would fill $3,000 lines with just straight claims. You know, it was just people buying in. There wasn't bottoms, no 10 toppers. One of the rooms that had noticed me kind of growing Cardtastic invited me to come play and join in theirs. I was like, oh, dude, I should bring bottoms over here. And that's kind of where that happened. You
That's
know?
wild, dude. Like, it's crazy. Just, I mean, now, like, what they're doing, I see dudes that cannot fill a line without bottoms, and it could be a $300 card. You know, it's
I
crazy
know it's
how
crazy.
from
It's
nothing
crazy.
to something. I know there's a lot to it. I mean, there's a lot to support and who you're friends with and who you deal with and all that
Mhm.
too. But don't forget, nobody but wants to buy your shitty card also. So there's that aspect of it.
100%.
I think people
So
forget
like, dude,
that.
the circle jerk of Tastic is something that I know gets talked about all over. Like it's a running joke in a lot of places. And I mean, dude, it absolutely was. Brandon Walker is someone who was like, that was the it guy. If you that guy filled no matter what, always his megas. If you got him to support your lines, you knew you got Kip and like 7 other people who were part of the original, joining megas. Anthony Diesel, eh, Boxa, Christopher Darren. There was a lot of people, like all the same guys like Sherry, Joel, Brian Berkey, Ben Binder, like, all those guys. Like that was like you'd see a line and you could see 70% of the line was the same people, but it was how it worked. And like slowly over time, Tastic grew, right? Jonas was the initial kind of like bring a new life. He brought flashes into Tastic. That was him. And then he grew it with Greg, Jake, Joby, Bindle. They brought me in when they're like, yo, we need someone crazy who's going to bring a bunch of people in. I joined, I want to say like 2,000 people came with me from RSC when I kind of let them know I was leaving. And it wasn't intentional poaching, but it was bringing people who knew me. I was now breaking there. And so like we grew that, and then flashes were insane, like double the numbers they're doing now for us, right? And so that put us on the map. And then more and more people started joining, and we started playing around with more money, getting, all that.
Why do you think that they were double then and they're than they are now?
There was less there. So the collective didn't exist. Firestarter didn't exist. Exchange didn't exist. Cards R Us didn't exist. Sick was doing flashes. We were doing flashes in New Era. That was probably it. There was nobody else consistently doing flashes. And even if they were, it was Sick and Tastic and everybody else.
Sure.
And it wasn't close. It was never close. Like Sick and Tastic, if we were doing a Jordan, you knew you were going to get 5 to 8 grand. If not more sometimes. Sick had like a $20,000 flash once, and it was it. Like that was the pinnacle, right? Part of what happened is I think the dangers of when you start flashing for the same people, because it's just a regular thing, and some people feel alienated. Other rooms came up, right? And the way we started to run things and things changed. New rooms come up and they start flashing, they start doing this, and so you lose some of your people. And there's just more options now, and it's not a bad thing. I love competition, and I love seeing people I started this with make their own room and flourish, dude. It's great. It's good for the hobby.
I think so too. Even though I guess what level you're on. So you were talking about if you could get those guys to co-sign for you, then you were good to go. And it's funny because you're that dude now.
Yeah.
And I know this because when I left Whatnot, I come over trying to do my thing on Facebook. I used to be an admin in a group that did repacks
Okay.
before I went to Whatnot. I've been in the repack game for a while. I couldn't get it going, and one of my buddies was like, "Dude, if you can get Will to co-sign your shit," I'm like, "Yeah, except I don't know him. You know what I mean? What am I supposed to do? Just but that's always the goal. Is like, how do we
Okay.
get this dude or you or a couple more like you
Mm-hmm.
to see it? And I'm speaking,
Dude, and the thing is, like, I'm an open book. You can message me, right? Like, dude, I will absolutely sometimes forget, as you know, like, dude, I'll open a message and I'll forget. But I'm never like intentionally blowing someone off. Like outside, I mean, there's some people who I just don't like, that I will blow off. But like if someone's genuinely asking me for help, whether it's tips in the repack or even a small shout out, dude, I've small shouted out a ton of them. Like, dude, I like to see people grow because if you grow, it's another friend. I want to win together with people. I don't want to win alone, right? Like, I want Tastic to be the best, but I want Cards R Us to be successful. I want Card Exchange to be successful. These are the people who help build Tastic. And if my friends are growing, we're all going to find a new way to win together as this goes along, right? Like, and that's the goal, man. If you find ways to win with people, you all grow, because when they find their way to win, they're going to bring it back to you and vice versa. Whereas like this whole Patrick Wall puts it best, my shit, your shit. Like, well, my shit's cooler than yours, so I'm not joining it. All right, well, we'll go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I dig it. No, I love that, man. I really wish more people thought about that. I mean, this is something I've talked about on every interview I've done. Is like,
Mhm.
dude, this market is insane. If you
Yeah,
don't think so, then you've never seen it.
dude, the conglomerate money is insane right now. We're watching a boom that is not quite 2020, but is far more rational and far more healthy than 2020.
Dig it. So real quick back to the high end cards before we
Yeah.
leave this part. So after you're doing some big ones. After you do a big repack or a big line or just a big deal in general,
Mhm.
have you ever gotten like what's some of the negative feedback you've gotten? Like if a guy doesn't hit or bitching or something like that, like what are some of the things you hear?
Dude, so I mean, and this is on anything. So on big lines, big repacks. I mean, one of the biggest things, there was a while I stopped doing repacks. And it was because I was accused of telling someone, what team was going to hit, right? And for me, my integrity is outweighs making money and doing this. Like, damn, bro, if that's what you think, like, I don't want to do this anymore. Because one, I'm not doing that. And two, it's like it's almost an insult. Like, cool, like I can't even put together a big repack. The guy who they said it was 40% of the entire repack's damage. So it was a $20,000 repack, and he was like 8 grand in. Of course, he's going to hit cards. It's
Absolutely.
not that, it's somewhat, it's crazy when you spend more and you have 6 spots, you're gonna hit, right? But having to defend myself, having to defend it just got tiring. um and I think the sad part of like a big line when someone whiffs, or like when I will do a case break, and dude, look, the reason I'll do a case break divisional, I hate sorting. I hate 32 team sorting. And so I made it easier on myself. That's just 100% what it is. Like,
I love it.
I would rather, it just is what it is. And unfortunately, that does create bigger losers in terms of like per spot. But typically, the guys who I know that are losing the money they're losing can afford it. I'm also not one to just let someone get insanely deep with me if I don't know them and not check in like, hey, bro, like I've never seen you spend 500, let alone 1,000 at one time. Are you good? Like, what's up?
Right. That
Um,
that's interesting. I've never heard anybody really say that before. I've never asked either, but I would, I guess it's not good to assume, but most people are like, if it cleared, let's run it.
Yeah, but dude, there's certain times like, dude, I'll stop. Like if I'm in the middle of running 10 toppers and I see someone just got hammered who I know by the cards they're lining, because I'm good at like I memorize a lot, but I also remember a lot. So like I'll think of like this person's never ran a card over $500 before. Let me go check in and say, hey bro, are you good? Like you tilting, or like, and I'm not trying to be offensive. It's not that I don't think you can afford it, like, but like, hey bro, are you just getting carried away? It's competitive. Like I don't want to ruin your month, right? And like those little questions, most times people just brush it off, and even if they can't afford it, they're not going to tell me. But there's other ones like, yeah, bro, like I'm a little too deep. It's like, cool, dude, I'm gonna shave off a little of your damage. I have profit in this. Don't worry. Stop playing. Post a card up. Let me go support some back, and at least get you a little of the edge off, right? That's what it's about, and people don't see that. People don't see the PMs. People don't see that behind the scenes stuff because I'm not going to embarrass someone. I'm not doing it to, hey, pat me on the back. I made sure this guy is okay. Like I just want them to be okay. You don't need to, every good thing you do, the nice things you do, they don't need to be publicized because it's embarrassing, bro. Like, imagine if I did say, it's like, hey, dude, I shaved off some of his damage because he couldn't afford it. Like, what kind of dickbag
Yeah,
does
yeah,
that? Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
like,
terrible.
that's the type of stuff I hate. And so, like, you do the stuff in private. You have those little side convos because, dude, even just messaging them to acknowledge you know their existence and they care, it details them, dude. It details people, it calms them down, and it makes them at least give a shit. Like feel like, damn, this guy does care. So yeah.
Yeah. You're a real person, not an ATM.
Yeah. Like I'm not just, dude, I don't I don't want to fill huge stuff just to break people, bro. That's not what this is about, you know? Like I support a ton, right? Like I'm all over. I'm all over.
It's a factual statement, and anybody that disagrees, you're not in rooms because I see you all over. I see
Yeah.
you all over, dude. That's awesome, man, and that's good. And I think the hobby needs more of that. And I know it's not done to be for a pat on the back, but it ain't awful when somebody that sees it calls it out too and says, "Hey, man."
Yeah, dude, if they want to say that I did it, great. I don't want to put someone on the spot. Like it's the same thing in real life, bro. I don't ever want help from someone that is going to throw it in my face later. And I don't want to do that to people either, man. I think that's one of the
Yeah,
most demoralizing things you can do. I've been in bad spots. I've been in spots where I'm sitting there like, bro, I can't believe I just blew all this money. Like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm going to have to sell this. I'm going to have to do this. You know what I mean? And like through those panicked moments of like, God, you know, or just like having to part with a PC, you know, I had to part with my entire PC at one point in this hobby because my, car sales had slowed and I had been overspending and I didn't adjust, dude. Thankfully I had a big PC to get me out of trouble, but like it was sad. You know, one of the
yeah.
all my hard work that had gone into a couple of cards that I never wanted to sell, I had to sell, you know?
What if you didn't have those cards to sell? Like, then what? Then what do you? Then what happens?
I'd be a scammer. Or I would have been paying, I probably would have got posted, hey, this guy can't afford to pay his tabs or one or the other. Who knows? Like, you know what I mean? Like if I
Yeah,
wasn't, I would have figured it out. I want to think I would have paid him back eventually, but like if I wasn't smart and I didn't put cards away and have, I don't want to call it a rainy day fund, but it's kind of like having your own savings. Like it was if I ever get overextended, I have, 40 grand worth of cards here that are all cards I don't want to sell. It was LeBron's, and at the time T-Law was a huge PC, but it was a Jordan, it was a LeBron, it was stuff that I never wanted to sell and had to.
right. So before we talk, or before we started the interview, we've been talking a bit, and I mean something that you were adamant about getting into, and I fully appreciate it, is exactly what we're talking about here, sliding into that dark side of the hobby. Um,
Yeah.
what are some of these? I mean, we're talking about it right now. These sides of the hobby that people are afraid to say out loud. Obviously, like this, we're overextending ourselves.
Yeah.
What else? What else is happening? I mean, you see it. You're in one of the biggest rooms dealing with some of the biggest cards.
Yeah. I mean, dude, a lot of people don't want to talk about. There's a lot of negative in this hobby, man. Like, we'll see a scammer post of someone we know, and like, oh, dude, they used to be good forever, right? And like, and it could be something smaller. It could be they went bad on a tab, or hey, they can't pay their tab. They told me they're going to get me eventually, right? Like, and they get posted, and it's like, I think most of us probably have someone who's our friend in PMs who probably owes us some money and can't afford to pay it right now, and they're slow in it. Are they a scammer? Are we doing them an injustice by letting them stay hidden and helping them? I don't know, right? Like that's something we don't talk about.
No, we definitely don't talk about tabs at all.
Yeah, dude, and
We have
everyone, there's a lot of people who pretend they don't have tabs with anyone, and I know for it a fact to be a lie, and then they'll say, oh, well, no, that's just different. It's not different, bro. It's a tab, but okay.
so they don't have that tab. You're right. They probably end right up on scammers. So how many of those guys on scammers just didn't have a homie?
I mean, dude, it's a lot of them. Like, there is someone who just got posted who was good for, I don't know, this last half decade in the hobby, a big name. You know, he ran through a series of unfortunate events. He got too deep. He lost his job, and he got posted. And it was his own lack of effort into working into it, right? Like it's part of it, but like it's someone who a lot of us would have wallet vouched. There's a lot of people that end up on scammers page that you sit there like, damn, how did that happen? Like, or just like, why didn't they pay? Like, and it's a culmination of having tabs with people over time, and they still chase to keep up with the Joneses, right? And then just in general, like getting too deep, you start seeing the signs when someone starts to slow pay, right? And like, oh, dude, I forgot, oh, this or that, right? Like, and that goes from they always use a snap pay to pretty often to the payments get later and later. That's a sign they're running out of stuff to sell. They're running out of their own free flow cash. And it's sad, bro. There's nothing sadder than someone who you spent more time than you do your family. And I spend a lot of time with a lot of people here. That message is like, bro, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills this month. Like, or hey, Will, like, I can't pay these last 3 buybacks. I'm gonna have to step away. I'm gonna eventually pay them back. I understand what has to happen has to happen. It's happened, and when we've had it happen, that's why Cartastic has a scammer fund. That's and it's not meant to be a get out of jail free card, but there is a point where part of it is if it, trying to put this right, like someone who's willing to work on paying it back, right? We're not going to make a member wait, right?
Right.
And are they a scammer? Is if they took a month to pay back some money, right? I don't know if that's the answer. Like, I don't know if that's a scammer. I don't know if we're doing any favors by protecting them, but like we remove people from the room. We let other hobby admins know. Does a person need to be disparaged by 50,000 people who have nothing better than to do than try to squeeze water out of a rock? Probably not. And so that's those judgment decisions, right? Like someone's intent wasn't to scam. And, like, again, like you just have to tote that line. That's our scammer fund came from a place where something unfortunate happened with a pretty big known name. And the admin team was originally covering it all of ourselves. We were doing stuff. And thankfully we thought of that and found other ways to fund that to then clear out some scams, take care of our members. And now if you line a card in Cardtastic and do the worst possible scenario happens, you ship a $4,000 card, it gets lost in the mail. It's not your fault. It's not the person's fault who just didn't get their card. We're going to pay it out. You know what I mean?
Shouldn't one of those cards, shouldn't anything over $100 be insured for the value of the card?
I mean, yes. Sure. I mean, yeah, should cards be insured? Yes. Is it a feasible? I mean, is it something we have as a room standard? No. Do I think personally that sometimes a package being labeled with insurance leaves it more susceptible? Yes. Are packages getting delivered that have a cut in them and aren't marked "we care"? Absolutely. People are getting empty packages, and now you have to deal with insurance that has, you have a delivered package, you say there's a hole in it, we can't prove it, and then we're stuck in the middle of like, well, hey bro, it shows delivered on tracking. You know what I mean? And so, like, who's at fault there? What happens if you ship me a card, I get an empty box? I know for a fact I got an empty box. You know for a fact you shipped a card.
Right.
And you have insurance. Insurance isn't covering that. So there's tough, But, or, dude, when someone goes bad and just doesn't ship a card, right? Like, dude, shit happens. Like, it's an unfortunate scenario. That's when an actual scam happens. That stuff needs to get blasted. When someone's intent was to scam,
Sure,
those are the people you post.
I agree. Do you think that, like, the hobby is full of a bunch of cool kids and a bunch of dudes trying. It's clicky like everything else. It is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Does the hobby pick and choose who's forgivable?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, bro.
Why do you think that is?
So what do you mean by like choose? So give me an example of what you mean.
So just like that, like just covering somebody's tab, or one of my good friends in the collective, I know he's a good dude and he shipped it and he says he did, so I'm gonna go to Earth's End to defend him and try to work it out. And because I got a good name and people love me and they like doing, watching what I do and stuff, they're probably gonna believe me. So I am then now saving his ass because of my name or something along those lines.
And I've had that too. Like my vouch carries, some weight to it, right? If I say like, hey, they're good to go, like I'll cover people for it. Do we pick and choose? Absolutely, man. I mean, in a perfect world, everyone who ever can't pay a tab for a spot they claim should get posted to scammer page because that's what they did. They're bad business. Yeah, right? That takes out the human factor. That just makes it an automated system, right? But if someone made a mistake and they've come back, they've righted the mistake, right? Like their intent wasn't there, they messed up, dude, which can happen. This is, dude, we're gambling a lot of times. This is something you can get carried away, and they make it right, and they're working on bringing it back. Do we also not believe in second chances?
Right. Right.
I do. You know,
You're
I think if
saying
someone, you know, it's a fine line. You just gotta. It
it's a
is pick
gray
and choose.
area.
And I don't think it's just. I don't think it's black and white. It's a gray area, and I don't think it's always popularity based. I think the circumstances matter. Some people are always going to have their mind made up. You know, there are people in this hobby who love to sit on a high horse, 100%. Right?
Yeah.
They they will lambast you and say, "Oh, you guys are doing this wrong. This is da 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 da," and then love to talk in their admin chat and in their room about how you guys or this room is hurting the hobby. The whole time, one of their admins owes half of the admin team, or they are covering up for their friend who's in it. You know what I mean? And so all the stuff that they say poorly about your group, they're doing. You know, they hate that cash games have become a thing, and they're sitting there running bookie boards trying to eat gamblers' money, and then they start doing cash games. But we're bad, we're stealing, right? And it's just
Yeah.
comical, right? It's you know, or we all know about an unfortunate circumstance. I made a very poor post, and some of the people who came at me forget I'm in group chats where they made anti-Semitic remarks, other racist remarks, have talked crazy things in my PMs, and they wanted to step on a high horse. They wanted to make something more than it was, and that's okay. It's life, man. I made a mistake. I owned it. It was disgusting. You know what I mean? But that's just, it is what it is, right? I owned it, right? There's a reason I deleted it because it was a bad post, but I apologized and publicly owned it because you have to, man. You
Yeah.
just have to. If you don't own your mistakes, and dude, there's gonna be people who hate me for it. That's fine.
Mhm.
You know, and you have to understand that not everyone's gonna love you. Not everyone's here to be your friend. And jealousy absolutely motivates people to act the way they are. You know, um, and that's fine, bro. I'm not gonna sweat stuff like that. I know who I am. I know who they are. I know the truth about you while you're lying about me.
Dig
So
it.
that's cool.
So and that's kind of what my stance was on anything is just like um an individual that takes accountability, whether it in your mind is forgivable or not or
Yeah, it's not.
whatever.
You don't have to forgive me, dog. Just acknowledge. I mean, hey, you can hate me, block me, hate me. That's cool.
Sure.
I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna still be me. I'm at the end of the day. What I know what it was for me. So that's it.
And I don't know, in my experience in life, accountability, I mean, that's up top, you know.
Yep.
Just, you know, people that most people can't say they were wrong at all. And, you know, it's impressive when you've
Dude,
got,
I'm a jackass so often in this. And I know it too, man. I overreact. I've let this hobby jade me in a lot of ways, right? Like, dude, I can't pull it up right now, but my screen time is 14 hours plus, you know? And that's not an excuse, man. I spend a lot of time on my phone. I spend a lot of time in this. I spend a lot of time dealing with scammers. I spend a lot of times dealing with just dumb stuff, right? Like, I get legitimately, bro, if I don't look at my phone for a day, night to close, I'll have 60 messages that I have to go through, like 60 unopened ones. And so I don't do people will probably talk about like how I react to certain things in a way something's run, delays, this, that. Dude, I hate it. I hate it about myself too. It's ridiculous, right? Like I read back some of the dumb shit I say for a delayed run and I want to slap myself. And I go apologize, and that doesn't make it okay. Just because you say sorry doesn't always make it okay. All I can do is continually own the problem and try to get better though. So I know that I overreact. I know I can be temperamental. And all I can do is say, hey, dude, I'm working on it and I'm sorry. Yeah, that's it.
yeah, but, you know, I think all of us could take a little bit of accountability in this stuff. We're dealing with money. We're dealing
Yeah.
with
Dude,
items that
that's all
people
it is.
want.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's money, man.
And on any end, you know, like I get it. I'm playing in 4 flashes in the same hour. I'm claiming in all of them, and then I'm
And
trying
then
to
when
spit them
buyers
out.
runs all four and smacks you.
Um, Jeez, man. No, but yeah, but I try my best, and it's easier now that I'm involved in them. But like to make sure I'm there at no later than close, so them dudes
Oh,
can settle
dude.
up.
Dude, when I fall asleep in the middle of someone I like splash, like Nick Gamel, right? So he doesn't flash often. That guy's been getting hammered. It breaks my heart every time I see him post about his cold run. I sleep through his flash. I wake up. I've never felt more guilty about anything in my entire life. So I just sent him $100. I was like, dude, I'm sorry I missed your flash. Here, like I would have spent it anyway. And Nick was like, dude, absolutely not. I was like, no, no, please don't send the money back. Like pay for it. Like it just or 50, but whatever it was. It was, dude. I just felt awful, and that's this crazy guilt that we shouldn't feel. And it's why we all, when I say like how this can be negative, man. Like I feel guilty if I don't join someone's stuff, which is stupid, dude. We're throwing, flashes. We spend a lot of money. And all of us go through it, on a whether it's a bigger scale or smaller scale. Like part of it is like I want to say an addiction almost, and part of it is like, dude, this weird. I feel like I owe them, and if I'm not in there, like, man, what a dick move. He's always in my stuff. I need to make sure I'm never not in his.
Absolutely.
So
The obligation to it. I mean,
yeah.
one of your boys, one of the other mods or admins, somebody that's constantly in yours.
Or like if they struggled and I wasn't there tagging, like, dude, I'm so sorry, bro. Like, what a, and you feel or something, and it's nothing there to do. I didn't even think about that. But to you, it was a big deal. And so all of that plays into it, man. And it goes into, like I said, man, I think, I don't know if I've already touched on this, but like that all goes into like why I'm sympathetic towards certain things, right? Like I'm a hard ass. I post people, I blast them. Typically who I'm blasting are actual scammers, actual consistent bad business. But when someone messages me that they messed up and they're overextended, man, like I've had some of my best friends in this hobby who are no longer in this hobby message me as like, Will, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pay my car, feed my kids, and pay my mortgage. Dog, like that's heartbreaking. And it's heartbreaking that I, as a friend, didn't see them getting there. And
So,
it doesn't make it my fault, but man, that's all factors, man.
do you think there's any warning signs or things that we can look out for to see something, say
Absolutely,
something?
dude. So, dude, when you start seeing, and here's the signs, right? So, someone who goes from they never line anything, right? Don't really sell much, and then you start seeing them selling everything, like low end, high end, everything, lining more, payments get slower, the complaints go up, right? Like you start seeing them, their outbursts, their changes, right? It's all stuff we ignore. Just they're probably going something in real life. Like, nah, man, it's the hobby a lot of times. We blame it on real life, and he might say it's real life, but the real life problems they're having are because they're blowing all their money in this. And so, like, yeah, you might be fighting with your wife because you spent $2,000 this month in the hobby and you have nothing for it, and now your wife's seeing all these stupid cards on the table and wants you to sell them. And a guy who's already working his ass off was using this to blow off steam is now spending more time away from family working just to then end up a net zero, because a lot of times when you're forcing support, you're going support to fill. So those are all signs, but like it's just like anything. You see changes in behavior, man. A simple message is just, hey bro, are you good? Like, we've removed someone who was a staple in Cartastic for a long time, had his issues, but like a message he sent is like, I don't know how I'm going to pay my, literally after playing in one of my games, like, I don't know how to pay my rent this month. Thanks, bro. And it wasn't the first time it had happened.
Wow.
It was, he had messaged a couple of items this way, and we made the decision, like, dude, like if that's what his sentiments are, is like out of care for the guy, let's remove him. This is ruining
Yeah.
his life. I don't want to see that, right? Like, or suspending people who are in too deep, like, and not letting people try to fight their way out. Everyone's trying to hit a home run to win a buyback to pay this, and that's how you end up with big problems.
You, I noticed a couple guys, and they're just getting in bottoms just constantly,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of made my, it's getting that little ding, and they're like, hey, man, they're usually not going this hard, and
Yeah,
I
like when
kind
you
of,
notice stuff like that, don't be afraid to message your friends, man. It's huge, bro. It's huge.
yeah, I definitely, man. I don't know, man. When it's kind of weird to me when people. I spend a lot of time on my phone too. Probably not as much as my wife might argue that, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot. Like a lot of us, a lot. And when people say real life versus this, like, come on now, bullshit. This is real life for us. Don't front like it's
Oh,
not.
absolutely.
Come on. You know,
And
you
so
know what I'm saying. But
I'm guilty of saying that too, because I'm usually guilty of saying is people love to talk as if there's no real life repercussions because we're on the internet. It's just true, and it's not just. And I'm not talking like there's people like I would slap for saying some of the things they've said to me. It's also like bro, in what world is $2,000, $1,000, $500 not real life money, bro? Like growing up, bro, we like that's we didn't have it like that, you know. If my mom would have told me she lost $2,000, like all right, cool, like I'm gonna I don't know what we're gonna do to pay bills, right? That's not a thing. So,
but yeah,
but I get it. This is real life for a lot of us. This is how like I love people. They love to say, "Oh, dude, you're just some loser hobby admin." Blah blah blah. I was like, bro, this is how I provide for my family. You know, like that's cool. Like this is real life for me. You know, I take this serious.
I don't know. Do you think? You know, I don't know. What can we do? Like, obviously we reach out and do the individual peer support that we're already doing with your
Mm-hmm.
boys and stuff. I know it's kind of hard to reach for some people to reach out to people they don't know. For others of us, just messaging them is not hard. But besides those obvious things, I mean, is there any systems, check systems that maybe we should start considering as admins and mods and groups? Maybe like I'm just like seriously just talking out loud, but like, hey man, if we see like 3 of these things, it's got to go. Somebody's got to track. One of you, the youngest admins, got to do it, and then we got to reach out. And you know what I'm saying? Like
Dude,
some kind
we
of check
try.
and
I mean,
balance.
we try, dude. So like Jake Argraves, right? That is probably our number one guy who catches red flags before they're even red flags, right? Like he'll see a guy posting a card that's like not normally. They're saying, hey, Will, do you know this guy's like, yeah, he's good. Or, hey, dude, he's been getting hammered in lines. Let's help support it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I mean, dude, you got to look out for like you as room admins. And dude, it's not feasible for every room. It's probably not feasible for Cardtastic as a whole or Sick as a whole, like 2 huge rooms, right? Like you can't always keep tabs on everyone at all times. You just can't. What you need to do is make sure that people know, hey, if you're not getting paid a buyback in a certain amount of time, like it needs to be quick. Now it's different with bottoms and bigger lines because tabs sometimes take a little bit, right? Like there's you'll see, so guys who play bottoms heavily, they struggle in certain other rooms because they're used to like, I can pay in 24 hours, like it's just a thing, or a little later. It's like, no, like that payment's too instant. I'm trying to snap pay my buyback, right? Um, versus like like for me, if I know like I have enough typically now where I'm just going to pay a buyback regardless of tabs that are right, like just to be done with that person owing. They can owe me. But like stuff like that, so like people owing for a long time is a huge red flag. I think what we need to do is stop ignoring and saying, oh, they're probably going through something. No, go
Hmm.
message them, dude. you know and be quick to shut someone off. If you're quick to suspend someone who owes, you're helping them, right? You're helping them not get deeper.
I do something similar. You say you just pay their tab. For me, it might be $50, it might be $10 when I'm banking, and I'm like, all right, all these names, I know them, run it.
Yeah,
I'll go
yeah.
hunt them
Oh,
down
I'm king
later.
of dude. I'm king of snap run and get paid later.
Yeah,
I'm not a good example of that. So I
no,
am
we get
probably
it.
someone in ways perpetuated some of the issues that are in the hobby here now.
Sure, sure, but you want things got to be moving. Wheels got to be
Yeah, yeah.
rolling. People are getting paid. It's people's money, right?
Yep.
Um, I just I've been lucky so far. It'll happen. I know
Mhm.
it will, and then I'll have to figure out my way to handle it. How many times have you gotten burnt? Like burnt?
Like burnt.
Uh,
So burnt is different than like money I'm owed. So like if you want to say burnt,
mm-hmm.
most of mine you can see on Scammer page from my earlier days. I haven't been burnt in a while, but like I mean I've been burnt for 10 grand total probably of money that I'll never see again. Right? Over the course of the years. I mean, I have some of it was break tabs. What was his name? Derek Dietrich is someone who has gotten a bunch of breakers. was someone who used to tab with me, would always pay, and one day he tabbed with me for like 2K, lost like $3,000 betting with other people in reasonable, blocked me and burnt me. This dude Colby Glitney me in. I sold a white box to, lied and said he never got it, burned me for 1,000 on the charge. And I've been burnt, assorted tabs. There's some tabs that I've written off too. Is like they told me what was going on, like and I don't want to call it burn. I was like, hey, you know what, dude? Like I'm in a good spot right now. You don't owe me anything. Just take care of life. I don't want to see you in another room gambling. If I see you there, like I'm gonna go let them know what's up. But these people, for the most part, truly left the hobby. Like, hey, like shit got bad and they bounced.
Yeah. Yeah, you
And
can't be
that's just
slow to
like
pay over here and then over here jumping in line.
yeah, and like money I'm owed right now, and this is a number that'll probably, make. I'm probably owed right now by active people in the hobby over 30, under 40.
Jeez.
And I mean, it's just these are some of it's rolling tabs, like people who are paying me overtime that are no longer like active, but like non-burnt, like someone who in a sort of people who, hey, bro, like in a bad spot, like I need just so I can unbury myself, right? And because I'm in a good spot where I'm at, and because I'm part of that problem probably too. I attribute some of what I'm owed as part of a culture I created that has since changed, Tastic for a while was producing a lot of tabs and it's a never ending, where everyone's lining, doing this, doing that. And a lot of that got shut down, like over time, like, and so some of it is attributed to that. And some people who are just like, like stuff like that's created over time and different things, like, but yeah, in total of money that like trickles in, that'll probably take me a year in total, probably right around like 30, which is a sick number. It's a sick number.
Yeah, that's
But like
wild.
it's a number that I'm no longer growing. I'm reducing. I don't tab people. I don't really, I mean, because there was a time where I was ripping probably 30, 40 grand a product a week too, right? In terms of
Yeah.
like breaks. And so that was different too, is when I was breaking cases weekly, and lining on top and this, that, like, dude, there's so much money going in and out. So
Yeah. I think if you've been maybe a certain dollar threshold and a certain time.
yeah, I
Dude,
check in on people. You're never gonna see someone like if I'm running a $20,000 line, and I just ran one yesterday, right? Like snap filled, but like if I see someone above $1,000 in damage without a main, like, hey, bro, you good? Like outside of it being someone who I know is good, right? Like if it's someone I'm iffy on, but like there's certain people I know, right? Like guys who I get, $1,500, $1,600 deep in their line, etc. Like or more. Like I'm not worried about them, right? But like people who I know shouldn't be at that damage level, let's shoot a PM, do that. Hey, can you clear this portion of it? And sometimes they'll get super offended because the implication is that you don't think they can pay,
sure.
which is fine because they get offended if they don't play my line that day, and I probably saved them $1,000 in tilt money. I'll take being the asshole for the day. I don't let people tab on breaks anymore. I stopped a lot of that, because it's not fair to them. I'm being their credit card, and then they're gonna go try to hit a home run somewhere else.
So, all right. I mean, we're talking about, ways to kind of curb guys and girls, people getting into these situations. But with that being said, if it's not just a straight line for the card without the buyback, are flashes, cash games, buybacks, are they just bad for the hobby then?
Flashes, I don't think are bad for the hobby. I think flashes have served as. So I'll give you this. It just depends on the room, right? Are there rooms that have people who are flashing who never throw a dime back in the room? Absolutely. There's absolutely there's flash hosts who are ATMing rooms, and using it, which is, look, dude, if they found a place where they've created it, good to them. If people are still supporting, right? Do I think?
I don't know where that is.
Yeah, I'm saying there's places, right? Yeah. So that's okay, whatever. Are those bad for the hobby? Not necessarily, but I think for the most part, what flashes did, what cash games have done, has created a way for rooms to be monetized for admins, for those admins to go spend that money. And yes, dude, they're absolutely still making some, right? Is it still profitable for flashes? Absolutely. Is it still profitable for cash games? Yes. Is the majority of that money going back into the room, pushing lines, keeping a room's ecosystem going? Absolutely, in my opinion. I know it is, at least for me. I know it is for the guys in Monsters who run cash games. I know it is for Collective and the way you guys run flashes. That money is back into lines almost always. Cards Are Us is Caleb Ekins throws more in flashes than probably the rest of the goddamn hobby put together. Their admin team pushes them. Our admin team pushes them. Jake, Greg, Joey, Bindle, they're all in lines. The admins who run cash games use that money. Are they absolutely profiting from it? Yes, as they should be.
Mm-hmm.
We're not paid to be admins. We're not paid to deal with all the stuff we deal with. If there was no way to monetize Cardtastic, right? How long could people last, bro? This isn't a cheap hobby. Unless they're making oodles and oodles of money, right? And so, people are cash games necessarily the best thing for the hobby? Maybe not. I don't want to sit there and defend them either. Like, we a cash game, the 9 rounders, right? 9 out of 10 rounds are getting paid. And there's a 5% rake when you look at it this way. So if it's a $200 one, 100 to a jackpot, 100 here, runner gets tipped. And so there's absolutely profit. There's absolutely money to be made. And part of that, dude, a lot of that goes back into rooms, goes into giveaways.
Right.
I don't know if I would say, I think bookies are probably a big thing that's hurting the hobby in some ways too. If they're irresponsible, and there's responsible bookies too, right? Like in everything, as long as it's monitored. Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry. How prevalent are bookies, and because a lot of guys who are going to watch us are very versed and veteran card guys, and a lot of them that are going to watch us, you're going to be like, hold up, y'all got bookies? Like,
oh, bro, it's huge. It's everywhere. I mean, look, so if we're in the dark side of the hobby as a whole. Raz rooms are the dark side of the hobby. We are. What are Razes, right? Like at the end of the day, it's gambling. We are in the dark side of the hobby. If you're asking the true breakers, the guys who are like, there's a reason Whatnot stipulates you cannot do random.org. You can't do this. You have to do this because it's gambling, right? So we are already in the dark side of the hobby, and there's a darker side of what we all do, right? Like, what's a flash? It's a lottery, right? Like when you really break it down, what are Razes? A lottery. All of it, right? Breaks, same shit. But dude, I mean, look, the Raz world is made up by a lot of guys who found a cheaper way to itch their sports betting. It's absolutely true. Dude, there's bookies. Look, I don't know if Card Sharks used to have a book attached. Sin has a book attached. Cardtastic recently added guys who run boards, in moderation, right? So like you can never get more with Sven and the guys in Tastic, for example. You owe them 500 before you can bet again. You have to clear within moderation, right? Like, bookies can be healthy for a room in some ways by offering a one-stop shop, and it brings more people in, but it is taking money out of the room. And I don't think that's necessarily the end of the world. People are going to gamble. As long as there's a responsibility factor, right? And you're not murdering people. There's other rooms that have books that will let a guy who makes 60 grand a year get a $20,000 credit limit and lose his shirt. That's what hurts the hobby. And that's a lot of times when you see these posts, like the reason we're allowing it in Scammer Tracker is because it's become a thing, like it's part of the hobby. Gambling is part of the hobby. It's sports. We're in the sports world. It's a natural progression. Is it all good for the hobby? Probably not in the grand pure hobby form, right? I think you'd have to be a liar to say cash games, bookies, and flashes are good for the hobby. You'd have to be a liar. Do I think that for a guy like Winkowski, who is I think, one of the top surgeons in the planet in New York, right? That guy does not have time to run. So having an outlet for a guy like him who sets 269 fucking spots in everyone's flash to get recoup, I think that's who it's for. I think for the guys who work 50-hour work weeks and have kids and don't have time to stare at a damn line and then miss their kids' practice or this, that, or be more away from their family, I think flashes are great for that.
Yeah.
So there's good to them. But I also think we have to realize this hobby is a business in some ways. This hobby is absolutely for profit. You know, people love to say, like, well, this hobby was never about making profit. You're right. When the hobby was never about making profit was the dark ages of the hobby, when, you know, a hobby box of 2017 Prism was $100.
Right.
Because there wasn't a ton of money in it comparatively, right?
Right.
And so when the boom happened, it became mainstream and you found ways for people to make money. That money floats in the ecosystem and is good. You know, guys who are able to sell the repack and make money to come support. That's how this all flows, man. If the money dries up, the money dries up. Whatnot is massive. It killed the Facebook break world for the most part. Like,
yeah, I agree.
It's not even close. Like, Facebook was king. Wax Hub was fucking king.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they moved on the platform. Besides Draper, Draper does an amazing job in Wax Hub. He crushes it. But their the rest of their breakers are on Whatnot.
What do you think it is about Whatnot? Just the instant gratification, the ability to
Whatnot is a fantastic fucking platform. The people who scream about Whatnot and only scammers are there, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They really don't. There are so many scams that happened all over Facebook. The scammer tracker page predates Whatnot. 95% of the scams there are Facebook hobby, are Instagram hobby. So the people who hate change and watch their favorite breaker kind of get pushed out, those are the guys who cry about Whatnot and Fanatics Live, dude. It's absolutely, they're fantastic platforms. You're very much protected on Whatnot. I had 6 packages that got stolen in Arizona that never made it to me. I lost money in all of those breaks. I would have gotten 15% max of what I spent. Whatnot refunded me for my purchases. Not for what the values would have been. I got refunded for my purchases outright because the cards got stolen. Okay. Wow. I had a breaker that didn't ship a hit. Whatnot took care of it. You know, so like, are there absolutely terrible experiences on Whatnot? Yes. Sure. There's terrible experiences on Facebook. There's terrible experiences on Instagram. There's terrible in person. Whatnot gives you the ability to instantly charge your bank or your credit card, which that's probably the only downside. But dude, like, the people that get called out on, you know, all these scammers, like the people who blindly say, like, everyone on Whatnot's a scammer, that was your first mistake. Those guys aren't on Whatnot. Those guys aren't even really getting in breaks for the most part. They're just parroting information they saw. And they're just dumb, dude. Like, it's just people parroting whatever they see other people say. They've never given it a shot. I would venture to guess 90% of Whatnot, and that's on the low end, is super safe. You're going to get your hits. And most of the mistakes that have happened from even the bigger channels, there's so much context missing.
I'm sure. Like everything.
There's and that's just me being honest. Like, Whatnot is a better platform than Facebook. We could be doing, so this interview we're doing could be on Whatnot, and I could be on my Facebook. I could be typing my essay. I can't do that on Facebook. I have to watch. I have to sit there and watch, and there's no way to do other stuff.
Yeah. No, I agree. As far as a
and you were on Whatnot. How did you like it?
So I did. Why I liked Facebook better is because I could leisurely fill breaks and stuff. I didn't have to be live like that.
Live, yes.
So for the guy who's down to grind, shit, that's your spot.
Same. I could never make it on Whatnot. I could never sit on a fucking channel staring and chat bid. I hate that. Yeah. You know, I hate that stuff. But chat bid. Like, all right, chill the fuck out, kid.
But if you can.
This is a scale. This is a scale. Like, we get it, bro. We get it. Like, so, that's annoying.
What do you think? What do you think? So, like, I ask a lot of guys this. Let me get your input on it. Your backyards, your VIPs, your dudes that, especially on Whatnots, that are just crushing. Okay, obviously they open way more than we're ever gonna fucking even think about, right?
That's all it is.
Boom, boom, boom.
It's numbers. So I know where you're going with this. Do they get all the hits?
Yeah.
Absolutely the fuck not. That is the conspiracy shit in all of us. Do you know what the odds of hitting? So here's a perfect example: the triple logo man, LeBron James, the backyard hit. Do you know what the odds of hitting that 101 are? We'll say it's 1 in 70,000 cards. I'm just making some shit up. Do you know what the odds of hitting any one of one in the entire product are? The same. So the odds of hitting the 101 triple logo man LeBron and the 1 of some AIDS player, you have the same likelihood. There's a 101. The likelihood doesn't change. It's just the amount of product they're ripping. And by the time when Backyard, for example, was ripping the Flawless, right? Mm-hmm. Like 60% of the product had already been ripped, and they were ripping massive amounts. They were supposed to hit it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, dude, you're going to see the biggest cards in the hobby are going to be hit by the people ripping more, right? Sure. People don't remember. I think so. There's a dude on Facebook. I forget. It's Dominic or Big Dom Formica. I think huge breaker. He hit the 101 Stroud Black Shimmer.
Oh,
he's not a whatnot. Yeah, monster card. He hit that for someone.
Yeah.
Is that not? Is that not a product hit?
Right. Somebody up the road pulled a
Wax Hub has hit. Wax Hub hit the Shield NT Treasures and National Treasures hit for I think Mike LeBucky or someone.
Yeah. Fair. No, I'm with it. Yeah, and that's the question I ask.
That's just a conspiracy, man, and it's just because it's a logic based thing here.
Sure.
I absolutely just cannot go away from the fact that logically, if Panini was somehow able to know where the hits were going, they have no incentive to give it to Backyard. They don't. They have incentive to just hold the fucking case until the very end. There's no incentive. Or dude, they're gonna like the amount of people you'd have to have involved in that. There'd have to be line workers, this, that, who'd all know about it. Bro, they're gonna hit the card themselves. It's $1 million card. Bro, I'm shipping the box to my fucking self. I'm not giving it to some big conglomerate breakers. The conglomerate breakers need that case hit to be alive longer anyway. So like the longer hits are alive, the more product goes up, and here's the thing, that doesn't help Panini. People don't realize secondary market prices skyrocketing doesn't help Panini. They sold their flawless cases at a certain price day one, at their certain allocated those days. That's already set. So the hit lasting 6 more months doesn't help them. It would help the breakers, so there's just so much. Like all it would help them do is to sell out. So like the idea that, of course, when you have guys like Backyard who have 6 channels breaking cases all at once, dude, they're going to hit. They're just going to hit. It's math. It's math, dude.
The kid on my
son's so close.
Team, right. The kid on my son's basketball team that shoots 75% of the shots gets 75% of the points.
Yes, and look, they're always Backyard will never overcome the whole T-Log Gold Kaboom thing.
No,
they'll never. That was planned, bro. Anyone who knows, bro, it went over negative, but it also blew them into a new stratosphere. That shit was on purpose, bro. Like, it is what it is. Like, it was a huge publicity stunt. Like, I don't.
Right?
Yeah, here's the thing: keeping a $30,000 card, guys, they're ripping millions upon millions every month. Keeping a $30,000 card is not making these guys rich. Like that's where the logical fallacy comes in for a lot of this stuff, man. Like, dude, these guys are making endless bags of money.
Right.
Keeping a card versus the literal millions they're ripping through just doesn't add up. Yes, so there is more to that T-Law story. The guy's been made whole since. It was stupid. It was a bunch of bullshit, and people will never get past that, right? They never will. Like that's forever what they go to. That's anytime you mention it. Oh, the guys who scam there, and the crazy shit that Grant said on that stream, that's fucked up. I'm not defending that, and I'm not defending Backyard. I'm just saying.
I agree. But with that being said, I'm gonna give a little insight, and I'm not telling on myself for doing no shit like that. But I'll tell you what I have done is say dumb shit before.
Oh, dude, I'm king of it. I've been bro. I've been canceled multiple times in my life. You know about the most recent one that almost happened, bro. We've all said dumb
Yeah.
shit, and I don't classify that the same. But have people said dumb shit, have this locker room talk, stupid shit gone too far? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm on the side of forgiving a lot of stuff like that, dude.
Yeah.
Um,
I work for a city.
mhm.
I wear a uniform. I'm not allowed to do knock out.
Certain things, yeah.
Yeah. You know, some shit I just can't do. And I fuck up, dude. Oh my god, dude. I insert foot in mouth every shift, dude. It doesn't matter. I'm terrible. So
Mm-hmm.
not saying what he was saying was a good thing, or I'm like you said, I'm
No,
not defending that shit at
no,
all. But what I'm saying is, like what you posted, you know, probably not the best choice, but
100%. And
honestly. Mm-hmm.
doesn't make my stupid, terrible joke okay. It never will. Dude, I've changed a lot of my rhetoric because I also realized a very fair point was, yeah, but you still wish he died. I was like, fuck, like that wasn't my intent, bro. I was just doing something for attention. I absolutely was. I made a post looking for attention because my Facebook's monetized and because I was just trying to chase for some
Yeah.
clout. And I almost cost myself a lot, bro. Like it was bad. And I
Yeah.
was in my heart, I know that's never what I meant. The moment I saw he was actually shot, delete the post. And I didn't delete the post because I was afraid of the backlash, bro. I'm not afraid of backlash at all. I delete the post because it was fucking disgusting in hindsight. And then I own it. And I'm just going to sit there and I took it. And people tried to defend, like, no, stop trying to defend me. There's no defending this. I fucked up. I'm owning it. It was gross. But dude, sorry. I went back to, I misread a group chat. I hop in the shower. By the time I'm out of my shower, I then find out the truth. And I was like, oh my fucking God. You know? Like, and then I see the video and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like,
That,
my intent, dude, my intent was a joke, poor tasting joke. And I won't make a joke like that again, right? Like I realize now, and it's not just because of the backlash, bro. Like I said, I'm not afraid of backlash. Come at me, bro. Like I don't give a fuck. It's an internet, like it's a joke, dog. It was a joke. It was a bad joke, and it was gross in hindsight. And the underlining part of that is by saying, it would have been a holiday if they didn't miss. I am implying I wish they hit him, and that wasn't what I don't want anyone dead, bro. Like, and people who know my character and who rode with me for years and have been a part of me helping recouping scams, helping them this, helping them that, they knew that's not where my heart was, right? And the people who already had a problem with me and have had their problem with me took their shot and they did. That's fine. Take your shot, bro. Come at me, say it, demonize me. That's fine, bro. Blame me for your problems. I'm cool with it.
well, how much hobby beef do you actually have?
I mean, bro, there's a significant amount.
Really?
Yeah, bro. There's people who I get screenshots from admin chats who love to blame me for why their room got slow. Blame me for the way the hobby has turned to where this is over comps, that's over comps, blah blah blah, and just like a culture change. Like that's cool, bro. You can blame me. You can blame me for you not being as good at this as me. That's where my cockiness will come in. I'm better at this than they are. And instead of
Are you talking
taking
about
ownership,
are you saying like 125%, 140%, no percent comps? Like what are we talking about here?
Cartastic is an 8-year-old room. 8 years old. It was in 2017, to put in perspective. Has Cartastic ever policed comps? No. Never. No. I am the newest admin in Cartastic as of 2023.
Damn.
So it's my fault. What is my fault is that I helped to make Cartastic as busy and popping as it is, again, because the baseline was already there, bro. Cartastic, the legwork had been done for years. The admin team has Raztastic, which is where their main focus was, besides like the more, I don't want to say the faces of Tastic, right? Like there are admins who started the room who are in other places and also just aren't in the hobby quite as deep as they were versus the ones who still are. We all helped regrow this and grow to levels this room has never seen. And part of that is you're going to slow down in other places. And unless you work and evolve, which we worked and evolved, it's just a simple fact. We evolved and changed. Our room got bigger, better. We brought new ideas. We brought new people, new incentives. We cover stuff, right? You got to blame someone when your room that was doing good for a while slows down. So they find someone. And I'm typically the guy who gets a lot of that heat from some people. And that's okay. You know, I've taken that. You know what I mean? Like I get a lot of hate, and I'm also very outspoken. Like I bring it upon myself. Don't get it twisted. Like
Sure.
I also have brought up upon myself, and I understand, and I've changed that a little bit too. I think my last 9 months in the hobby compared to my first, I'm much calmer. I'm in a better mental state, bro. Like I was jaded. Dude, there's times I've been broken in this hobby. There's times I've been broken mentally. I've been tired. I'm in the best spot I've ever been in. I've built a foundation of stuff and ways to make money in this and do this and that. Selling to repack, lining, having others line for me, cash games, it's just genuine flips, understanding the market, understanding when to buy a case of wax and sit and make money there, right? Grace, all of that are ways I found to monetize and bring in stuff for me, right? So I'm calmer. I'm definitely a much calmer, nicer person overall. I think I've made less enemies now. I can still be a dickhead. I can still be temperamental. I think a lot of the hobby drama has gone away. There was different fights at different stages in my hobby career. I now just block people, bro. If the energy is going to be crazy or fake, I'm not going to get into the fights anymore. I don't have that. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to waste my time. You hate me, cool. I block you, and I don't have to deal with it, bro. Like I don't need to be in your life, and that's a win-win.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think I'm probably a lot of bit older than you. But
that's the other thing
man,
too, bros. I mean, I'm a naturally competitive person, right? Like if I take something as a slight, my old issue was too is I'm gonna make it a bigger issue. Like you want to be passive, I won't be passive. Like I'll tag you by name. And I did that. I did that recently, earlier this year. I can't remember who it was, but it was essentially they said this isn't cardtastic. You're not going to line, blah, blah, blah here. And I tagged the entire team who are in my room doing nothing, never support, never played, and I brought out the worst part of it, and I regret it, right? And because I took it deeper too, because like I brought in other stuff of like, oh look, like your name isn't even original. Like I know why your guys' name. You know who I'm talking about.
100%. I remember that one. That was a big one.
Yeah, I was fucking mad, and that's the part of me like I want to get away from. I want to get away from that guy because you know what? At the end of the day, they're right. Your room isn't cardtastic. I don't like the fact you use this as the butt end of something you think is negative, but bro, it wasn't that big of a deal. I made a mountain out of a mole, and I made some enemies for no reason. That's where that's my fatal flaw, man. As I get too emotional, and if I see red, I act rather than like calm down. And that's something I'm working on trying to be better at is not snapping. So hopefully I can keep up with that. Because bro, I'm just happier. I just want to, because I really do want to see other places grow. Like Card Exchange when they filled the $80,000 one-on-one Jaden. Insane, and it made me so happy that when I made my post, a lot of people joined as a cosign. And bro, like that room is made up by some of the pillars of Tastic who helped grow the room, who needed a place that when Tastic changed, I don't want to say left them behind, but like changed in a way that they don't like. If the hobby's not enjoyable for you anymore, I'm glad they made a way to refine joy. They're still a great part of Tastic, but now they have somewhere that is their perfect niche for what they want. And it made me so happy to be a part of that success and be able to support them. Because those are all great fucking dudes, bro. Those are all great humans, people in the hobby you should strive to be. And that's the thing is you can show love, right? Sin City is probably the most efficient place in the hobby to run a $2,000 to $6,000 card with the most friendly format. Tastic, you're going to probably fill the fastest and you're going to fill the biggest cards, but boy, oh boy, is the damage going to be heavy because of T2s.
Yeah. Whew.
You can shout out success without it. That's the big thing I wish we saw more of. I wish with the negative I bring in, I think I also am one to celebrate success. We need more people celebrating each other's success, man.
I agree. But these posts do happen, and you can see that.
Yeah.
You'll see it when
I hate
when
it. I hate
admins
myself
from
for
groups. What's that?
I hate myself for it. Or like the side, like There was recently a post that I felt was throwing shade directly at a room. And it was passive aggressive and it was ho shit. It was ho shit 100%. You know what post I'm talking about because there was comments on it. The post itself was straight ho shit. That's okay. I've done that. I've done that same post. And I want to see stuff like that stop happening across the board because you know what, bro? Who cares? Like, there's no reason we need to address shit that happens in other rooms in our rooms if it's not a scam. If you don't agree with it, just move on. And I need to do the same. Just move the fuck on. If you don't like this way they do something, who gives a fuck? That's why you have your room. Don't play there.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
Right.
But don't act like a hoe. And I've acted like a hoe many times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I got to be better about it. I've been better about it. And I
think
hope
a
to
lot
see
of us
other
do.
people do the same.
Yeah, I think a lot of us do. What we do, what I am seeing, that is because of guys like you is, we're getting cross room
Support.
flashes support.
Hell yeah.
Like, dude, that's the greatest thing in the world. Like,
Yes.
that
Dude,
is
we can all
monster
make
shit.
money. We can all find ways to make money and we can all find ways to make our room members money. And dude, if we work together, fuck man, this shit could be insane, like amazing. You know, we watched in the higher end side of the hobby, and I don't want to say this as like a negative to the lower end, but like because the lower end's a bad way to put it, but like on the bigger card side, we've watched rooms die this year. We've watched some rooms die out that are just gone. And that's good because the rooms that survived are still going. But man, there's ways to make it so where we can all eat off each other's success and find ways together. And finding ways to win together is great, bro. Think about like if Collective Exchange, Cards R Us, Legendary, Fire Pools, Fire Starter, all decided together they wanted to do like something joint. Do you know how fucking awesome that would be and how fast and big it could grow?
Yeah.
Like that, bro. Like that. You guys could snap $100,000 card in a week.
It'd be wild.
I want to see that stuff start happening. One day it will, and I think, yeah.
All it takes is the dialogue and egos.
Yes, because you gotta understand that, like, bro, everybody's in everybody's room, right? Like, I'll tell this to anyone. It's very hard to poach Cardtastic. We are so, and I don't really think you can even poach Tastic anymore. We have 25,000 people. We've been around 8 years. They're all here. I don't think if you come in, if you as an admin in another room come in and line a big card, and those people are now your friends or in your tag list, and then you happen to line a card in your room and tag them, that's not poaching, man. It's not. Poaching is if you went onto our members list and messaged all of them individually. But dude, you making friends in another room, and even if your intent is to make those friends and invite them to your room eventually, oh, that's fine. You made friends. You spent money. Do it. I don't see that as an issue. You know, Cards R Us is made up. Yeah. So Dylan, Caleb, and Chaz are 3 of the biggest Tastic people ever. I'm so fucking happy their room's flourishing.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree with that 100%. I mean, I'm in a ton of rooms, and if my friends tag me and I catch it, because, we're busy, I'm jumping in.
Yep.
Now, on the other side, with poaching, and that was something I was going to ask, I became an admin in a room. I'm not going to say what it is. My first time being a mod on Facebook, and 3 days later, I'm banned from the pub, and I'm like, what the fuck? What did I do? Guilty by association, right? Well,
okay.
This individual had his people actively poaching, right? And that was one of the requirements. Now, this is not something...
I know who it is.
Yeah, I'm new to this, and I'm like, oh, shit, man, what the hell? I just got back into the pub last week. Like, and I'm just like, damn it, I'm not even going to play. Of course I'm playing the lines there. Dude, I want to be...
No, and I fully understand that. That situation was a little bit different, I think.
That was wild, yes.
I know who you're talking about. I know what room you're talking about. Yeah, that's poaching. Yeah. It is what it is,
Yeah, for sure.
I think that room has evolved and they do a lot of good business too. I'm sure you have your own opinions of it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. I had no clue you were even a part of that. So,
I'm like, shit, dude. Like, it was crazy. But, like, I agree with you, man. I have friends like you all over, man. And I'll get tags in
Yeah.
all kinds of rooms. And a lot of times I'm not in the room. So now I'm in the room.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, I've been accused of poaching before, and bro, and it's just because I'm a good relationship builder, right? Like, dog, like you can ask, have you ever like, I think someone else that maybe you should do an interview with that I would love to see do one of these is Mike Denman. If you ever get a chance, or if he ever wants to, he does Sin City. Mike Denman is definitely someone who I credit in a lot of ways to how I've grown in this hobby, like a little bit, like whether intentional or not, like that's how I kind of ended up in Sin and the way Sin does things. And me and Mike differ on a lot of things, but we're both very good with people. Um, and bro, when I joined Sin, what's the first thing I did? Bro, this place is fucking great. And I invite all my friends. And this is me as an admin to another competing room because I don't give a fuck, right?
Right.
I don't give a fuck. And you know what Mike had me do? There was a couple of his admins who had been blocked from Tastic for who fucking knows what. Unblocked them. That's actually, dude. So when I first became an admin in Tastic, there was an old admin who they were super worried about poaching and such had banned multiple admins from SIG, multiple admins from here, multiple admins, and I unbanned all those fucking people. Like, hell, there's no weird competition here. Like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Like, it was Jason Evanhart of all people who's like hilarious and I don't think has ever poached ever. I was like, why is this guy fucking banned? Unbanned, right? Like, there's no reason, right? Like, there's no competition here, bro. Like, I don't view it that way. Like, the competition I have in my head with everyone is different than actual competition. That's just me wanting to be better than them in my own head, not necessarily like fuck those guys, right? And that's through that relationship building is I brought my friends there. And you know what happened? My friends, when they lined in Tastic, invited their guys, and we had a bunch of Sin guys join back, and it became a melting pot. Yeah. And I think that's good for the fucking hobby, dude. Like, yes, as an admin, your support should primarily be where you're an admin. You should majority spend there. Yes.
Agreed.
But how do you go out and get other people? You could go poach and do it the ugly way, or you can go make friends playing and build a natural relationship, and it just happens.
Dude, be a
I don't think
social
I've ever
butterfly,
invited.
man.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever interviewed or ever messaged someone. Hey, brother, join Cardtastic. We are better. Fuck that. I'm not a dork. Like,
Right? I'm like so like.
And even that, even that, I just should have booted him, and I didn't need to make it a big deal. But because I like a spectacle, which is a bad quality trait. Have you ever seen Never Back Down?
Yeah.
Remember, it's a spectator sport, bro. That mentality I have is a toxic one I have. I fucking hate it about myself. And I've gotten better, but it's still there. I do things to make a spectacle and get attention. It's a terrible quality. People will tell you that's probably one thing they hate about me. And I don't disagree with them because I hate it too. It's good in some ways, but I also like, bro, I do things. I do things to get attention sometimes, whether I know it or not. And I hate it. But I've gotten better, and I'm going to continue to get better. So that's all I can say. But yeah,
it's definitely fun.
It's fun to watch.
Well, yeah, but it's more than that too. It's like I've been in multiple group chats with buddies, with admins and stuff. And they're like, "Yo, you see what's going on over here?" And it's like, fuck it. Hold on, I'm gonna go look. I love this shit.
Wheels on a fucking rampage again. Come watch. Like, oh fuck.
It's so much fun, man. It's so
much
fun.
And sometimes it's funny, but there's other times I look back, it's like, God, I look like such a fucking clown, bro. And I know it. The thing is, at least I know it. It doesn't fix it or make it better, but I know sometimes I'm like, oh boy, what did I eat for breakfast? Jesus Christ.
No, dude, that's awesome. So, dude, we're at an hour and a half, man. Like,
oh shit.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I have like so much more shit I want to get to.
Dude, let's do it. We can do a two-parter. I'm down. Do you want to do another interview too and kind of finish up some of the points maybe we missed?
Well, yeah, I do definitely. That's what I'm saying. But like, I want to make sure there's nothing in particular right now. Like, truly, I'm just listening because like,
yeah,
you're on this other level. I'm not there, and I'm not like fucking gassing you up or nothing. But it's true, and it's fucking neat hearing it because I'm talking. It's fucking tastic, and it's scammer tracker, dude. Like, it's wild. It truly is. It's fucking cool, man. It's super cool.
And see, like, what's crazy is I don't even view it like that, right? Like, I wouldn't say that to you. Like, oh, I think we're on different levels to this shit. Like, that's not something that resonates the same. And I don't mean that like to gas you, like to say, oh, I'm not trying to be overly humble. I just do not even view it that way. And I guess I don't even realize that that's how people view some of this stuff.
It's true.
Like, and I think that's where I feel that's where some of my disconnect comes in, is not realizing that kind of feedback from people. Because it does make sense now when they're like, damn, bro, like, you're bigger than this, but you should act different. I kind of get now as we're talking where that sentiment comes from. Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, I'm just a person, right?
Right.
Like, but I learned that I learned it mainly over that whole bad post, was how much my how much my outreach actually is and how much people talk about stuff, you know. And so I'm more careful about it now. But yeah, dude, this has been so much fun, bro. I miss shit like this.
Dude, it's so fucking cool. But like, dude, when that post happened, we had already discussed potentially doing this, and I had fucking some dudes like, I don't know if you should do that, and I'm like, oh, pardon me, I shouldn't do what? You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck are you talking
Yeah,
to? Like, are you kidding me?
bro, it's
Now
crazy.
I want
I
to
mean,
go more.
well, and you know what? One of the I'll tell you this. The first thing I did is I told my Tastic admins, like, hey, if you guys need me to step down, I will. And I basically got told, are you fucking stupid? Like, do you think we'd ever just abandon you? I was like, bro, it's an unfortunate circumstance. You shouldn't have posted it. But dude, fuck off, you know? And like, I tried to leave the chat. They added me back, you know? And I was like, I didn't want to hurt any of my friends with it, right? Like, that was the goal. I was overreacting a little bit. And dude, like, the main person who reposted it, right? Me and him had probably one of the greatest conversations I've ever had with another human, because he went at me hard in PMs about it, right? And I just sat there, like, bro, I get it. I'm just gonna tell you what happened, da da da. And I didn't message him for a week, and he hadn't removed me as a friend. And he messaged me like a 5-minute voice message and was like, look, man, like, I don't like your shit, but I can see you were genuinely. And you know what, Will? Like, I know you better than that. We had like the most about face conversation about why I view things, how I view things, how he viewed things, and how where my headspace was when I made the dumb thing, and why it's like this, and how, bro, like, it's not that deep. And we had one of those great conversations that we don't have anymore anywhere. Like, an honest conversation, like, dude, like, do you really think I ever wish that? And he's like, no. I was like, then why was this big of a deal? And I understand why it was. He's like, you don't realize the word, like, the weight your words carry, that. And then he went into me about it. I was like, you're right, bro. Like, I am furthering the divide. I am creating this issue. I agreed. It was dude, it was the most healthy political and just like man-to-man combos I've had in years. And so, like, dude, I think I'm actually happy that post happened, because it changed the way I do things some. And it reminded me, like, bro, I also have gotten so deep into this being a shit poster that I forget there's real life fucking consequences sometimes for shit like this, as there should be.
Yeah.